Today is Palm Sunday, but I thought rather than just speaking about that issue, which has been celebrated all around the world and in our church online this morning, I would do something rather different. Something that would surprise the people I was at school with is that I am a great lover of poetry. And, well, when I was at school, I didn't understand very well. I was a bit of a late developer with words, and anyway, I managed to fail my English O-level. Can you believe? One of the poets who I really love is the Welsh-born poet George Herbert. I think he was born around the year 1593, lived to be 39, died in 1633. And when he died, he left a book of poetry. It was published, and I don't think it's ever been out of print. We not only read his poems, but we sing his hymns. At least the church around the world still uses some of his great hymns. Let all the world in every corner sing, my God and King. We still sing it. Or the God of love, my shepherd is. Or those great lines, 7 whole days, not one in 7, I will praise thee. In my heart, but not in heaven, I will raise thee. See, Herbert's able to express in simple words great truths. And here's his poem on prayer. Prayer, the church's banquet, angels' age, God's breath in man, returning to his birth, the soul in paraphrase, heart in pilgrimage, the Christian plummet sounding heaven and earth. What he's doing there is he's starting with the notion that it's like a wonderful meal. It could be Holy Communion, but he's probably just talking about the fact that the church is brought into a banqueting place. It's rich fare. It goes back into eternity. In fact, the very source of prayer is God himself. It's God's breath in man returning to his birth. It's like God created us for this, and he wants us to express ourselves in prayer. It connects heaven and earth, the Christian plummet sounding heaven and earth. And it brings us into a place where we can be bold and approach God. It's the engine against the Almighty, the sinner's tower, a place of refuge, reversed thunder. Some people think of God as being a God who judges, sending thunderbolts. But here, George Herbert reverses the direction and says, no, we're sending thunderbolts up to God. Our prayers resound throughout the heavens. And then he says, Christ's side-piercing spear. Prayer penetrates right through and reaches the heart of God. Just like that spear opened up the heart of Jesus on the cross. The 6 days world transposing in an hour. What he seems to be saying here is that creation, that powerful act of God that took him a week, is comparable to what we can do in an hour. When we go and speak to God in prayer for an hour, whoa, what can we accomplish? And yet, it's music. It's a tune, a kind of tune which all things hear and fear. There's a reverence about this act that we could come so close to God. Yet, rather than being terrifying, softness and peace and joy and love and bliss, exalted manna, gladness of the best, heaven in ordinary, man well dressed. It's like we've been restored to the place from which we fell. We've been reinstated, reclothed, and now we have a glory, a joy, a shining around us. Heaven in ordinary, man well dressed. The Milky Way, the bird of paradise. The bird of paradise never lands. It's always in flight. It's always in the heavens, and that's where prayer takes us, to the Milky Way. Church bells beyond the stars heard, the soul's blood, the land of spices. Something understood. There's things for us to think about here and to reflect on.